In adventure sampling, I'm going to sample stuff wherever I am, whether I'm on an adventure or just in some place where I find sounds. The point isn't necessarily to capture the coolest sounds ever, but to find inspiration wherever I happen to be. You can find inspiration anywhere. The first episode, we're going to keep it really easy and just sample stuff from my backyard. This is our shed, which I like to call the bunker. I picked my favorite hit and threw it into simpler, and this is what I got for a kick. Without the filter, sounds a little bit more like what we remembered. The pitch envelope helps a lot to make anything sound like a kick. Basically, just grab a sample, could be anything, pitch it down, pitch envelope, filter to taste. For the palm frond, I just am using it for a backbeat. To make it a little more interesting, I picked my 3 hits that I thought were kind of cool, and then this one. They all have interesting stuff that happens afterward. Then I just used a random device to kind of randomly pick them. And then I threw my Max for Life device on here that will let the note come through 96% of the time. So occasionally it'll not play the backbeat, and then we get some of that interesting kind of artifact-y stuff. Not artifacts, but it's just what happened in real life. Real life is artifacts. Maybe I'll wait till it doesn't play the backbeat. Ooh, yes, that was fun. I liked that a lot. My daughter found this the other day, and I'm pretty sure it's a pod that came from this tree up right over there. Yeah, that one. Then with the pod natural shaker, I utilize the slice mode. Huge fan of the slice mode to just chop it up in whatever way the computer decides makes sense. And then I programmed this. This is literally just random. I did hard quantize it, but the cool thing about this is that because of the way it sliced it, there's all this weird stuff in between that gives it feeling. That sounds like a really cool shaker part, but it's all just kind of happenstance that, the slice that came up and it happened to slice it here but not right there and stuff. But big fan of that. So here's the drums all together. I was inspired by how this pine cone kind of had this slight tone to it sometimes. So I decided to run it through filter 8. And I'm going to pull out the sequence for now. What's going on here is that this filter has a lot of resonance. And then if you just put it right on the edge of that resonance, whenever the signal is a little bit louder, it's almost like pinging it in a really interesting percussive, scrapey way. The way of the pine cone, I suppose. So put that with the drums. It's a little crazy with the pod shaker, kind of random rhythms, and the pine cone, but I'm pretty into it. I just use the CVLFO map to the track volume of both the pod and the pine cone with the inverted range, so it's like crossfading between the two. Make a little more space. Cool. I threw this sample of the clothesline into the Morphogene, and This is what that sounds like now. With a pitch sequence. To make this a little bit more musical, dare I say, I envelope follow the drums. So if I get rid of the drums, you can still see the signal is coming through this channel of maths, which can do envelope following. And if I put that in the faux VCA, it has a little bit of a rhythm, which is very refreshing. The point isn't necessarily to capture the coolest sounds ever, but to find inspiration wherever I happen to be. You can find inspiration anywhere.